September 25th, the new Fox Tuesday kicks off with New Girl's new season. Then welcome Ben and Kate.
Stay away from my sister before you find out what 6 years of Krav Maga feels like. Well, like year and a half plus like 4 years on and off I was traveling.
Followed by another all-new New Girl.
What am I looking at here? Pure, unadulterated friendship.
And the Mindy Project.
Can't believe you're tattling.
Tattling is when a little girl does it, okay? When a hot woman does it, it's called whistleblowing.
The new Fox Tuesday, premieres September 25th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Bar Rescue After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Bar Rescue.
We're gonna rock
After
it.
Show.
What do we got? There we go.
This is for you, Rudy. I just want to rock.
I feel like Rudy was born to be loud.
You think? I just want to rock and roll.
Born to be loud.
Hey!
I love this song. I've loved this song since I was a little kid.
Which is only 5 years ago.
Of course.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Bing is for doing it, and we are here at AfterBuzz doing another episode of Bar Rescue. We are in Season 2, and this is Episode 8, called Owner Ousted. I wasn't too happy with that title. Win, place, or lose. That's Win, place, or show. That's the name. It should have been called Win, Place, or Lose, the title. I'm Kimlai, your host for tonight, and I have two fantastic co-hosts with me this evening. Dorinda.
Hi, guys. How are you?
And Phil Svitek, glad to be back.
We missed you, Phil.
We did. Tons.
But you guys have gotten good comments and, from what I'm
thanks.
saying. So you guys were holding down the fort.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, we're excited to have you back, too. It's always good to get a different perspective and get some estrogen. No, testosterone. Oh my God.
Testosterone, yes.
I did it again.
All right, let's just get to the bar history.
There we go. All right, so moving along. The bar history. We had a retired, what I wrote down, we had a retired Navy who always wanted to buy a bar, like many of the people that are bar owners that have been on this show. And he ended up buying a dilapidated old biker bar.
Yes.
So my first instinct is, why would someone do that? I wouldn't do that.
Well, I think. Well, I would.
My own opinion.
Well, because if
Especially
you're going to buy anything, you want to buy something that's crap because you're not going to pay a lot of money for it. Therefore, you can renovate it and make it into, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
but you have to actually renovate it.
Well, therein lies the problem.
Yeah,
There
well,
was
that's
no
where the history
renovations.
comes in. Like, he went in there and basically took it over from like it was day one of when it was a dilapidated bar. Didn't really do anything to it. Still had the stigma of what it was.
Right?
So
a little bit scary.
Yeah, so instead of, he didn't even change the name.
Here's what I think the
No,
real
he
problem
didn't.
is. I think he's been used to kind of, especially in the Navy, being around successful people. And so it's one thing if you buy out Bing. Bing's doing stuff right. You're not going to really need to change much there. I don't think he's used to being around failure, and so he doesn't know how to change failure. You know? And I think that's the inherent problem with Barry.
I also think, too, I mean, he thought that if he came in, changed the food a little bit, made things a little bit pretty inside, not a lot, I think the menus were changed a bit, that people would just come. And I don't think people realize that by a dilapidated business or a business that wasn't already booming, unless you're willing to put all that money into it, and change everything. And I mean, give it a complete makeover. You're going to get what you bought, which is a dilapidated bar with that same clientele.
Yeah, and
It's
also
business. It's just business.
To Barry's credit, coming from a military background, the work ethic is so amazing.
Right.
And he thought, well, if I work hard, and like he did, he put in 90 hours a week,
Right.
that it all of a sudden would actually work for, it would just happen. Even if
And
you
we
work
all
that
know.
hard. But
It just doesn't.
unfortunately, part of work is marketing and branding. And if you don't do that, you can put all the work in the world into it, but that's a big step to it. Yeah.
You know, I wondered, Rudy, the rocker. Rudy, you guys, he was the co-owner, he was the rocker of the bar, who was more interested in rocking it at the bar and drinking shots, which he didn't realize was taking money away from the bar, than actually being a part of the bar. And I think in the show he even said, I don't give a crap about the bar. I just want to rock.
Oh, the Cincinnati Sinners?
I just want to rock, man. I'm a superstar. What'd you think of him, Phil?
I mean, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful of this guy, but you know, you get to a certain point in age, and you're like, all right, enough's enough.
The age card.
No, enough's enough, and you know, if you bought a bar just to play at it and have it as practice,
Which he did.
That's essentially what he literally did. You know, and you have to be able to see the fact that he cleared out 30 people. And I wish John showed him that video footage, because in the past, you know, with the owner who was touching women, John showed him that video. But I really wish he showed him that evidence of, all right, dude, 30 people left during the middle of your show. Not good.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean, but he never saw that because he was playing the part. He wasn't being, but he was playing the part of rock star by doing shots, giving things away. I mean,
that's where I get upset too, because I'm sure a lot of musicians would get very angry about the fact that, okay, you're a rocker, all you do is drink and party. That's the stereotype. But guess what? They work extremely hard at it. It's not, what do you call it? This is my soul juice before I go on.
Oh, wait, that's my nectar of the gods before the show. That's exactly what he said. And we probably all together know many of musicians and successful musicians at that. And you know what? They work their butts off. And so, well, you know, they're not always partying. They're having a good time, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the ones that I know for a fact, they work their butts off.
How about this? If you haven't sold more than 5,000 copies, don't drink, because there's nothing to celebrate.
Yeah.
Well, he was saying, when John asked him if he knew, you know, do you realize that you're stealing from the bar or you're taking away? And he's like, well, I thought that's what you're supposed to do. Which I thought was kind of odd. There's the mentality of no business mentality.
Yeah.
Has no business owning the bar. And you guys, we actually have Amber on the line. And Amber, in the show, if you guys saw this last night, Amber was one of the bartenders who had a serious, sick passion for this bar and really wanted to get in and be a co-owner. And by the end of the episode, she did end up contributing $10,000. She wrote a check. Got Rudy out of there, and we will talk more about this later. We have her on the line. She did end up being the co-owner. So Amber, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so glad you got my message. Yay!
I know.
So I was when I got your email today asking you about the bar. What happened? Where is it? Where are we at right now with it?
Okay, well, first of all, we want to say that we want to make sure that John knows that we appreciated everything that he did for Bar Rescue. And we really took to heart, you know, the skills that he taught us, the menu, the concept. But unfortunately, as we said and, you know, expressed on the show, we were behind in our rent. You know, it wasn't a lot. It was 2 months behind. And the landlords, for some reason, changed their mind about working with us. They had promised us that they would work with us until the show aired, and we could just get caught up then, and everything would be fine. And then, you know, 2.5 months after Bar Rescue came into town, they pulled up to the building with a locksmith and a lease termination paper and pretty much forced us out.
That is definitely rough.
I don't know what to say. We're all like,
Well,
wow.
Amber, let me ask you this. I know this is a tough follow-up question, but are there any plans that you guys have to open up or buy a new bar elsewhere, given the situation?
And all the new product?
Well, what we like to say is America Live isn't dead, and we would love to open up another America Live in a different location, obviously. Maybe, down the road sometime. We all of the staff are still very close. I mean, we're all obviously doing other things now, because we had to move on and get jobs, but we all are still close. We actually had a party at my house last night, sat around, held hands, cried, watched the show, and memories of everything that happened. But we definitely want to open another one sometime down the road. Not sure when it'll be, but we're definitely open for opportunities for another America Live.
Now, let me ask this. What is going on with that bar? Like, what is it now? Is it just vacant? What's going on with it?
To our knowledge, the day that they showed up for that lease termination in a locksmith, and let me tell you, this all happened within an hour. We were completely ambushed. The building had issues with it. Our air conditioner was out. There were several things wrong that the landlord had been promising to fix, and they said that they wanted to sit down and have a meeting about it. And then they show up with this lease termination and a locksmith. And they basically said, if you don't sign this by the time these locksmiths are done changing the locks, we're going to sue you for the remainder of your lease, which was in the sum of over $250,000. And before we were even out of the building, another member of the community who owns a bar in our town showed up, and apparently he had went behind our backs and went to the landlord and asked to lease the bar. So as far as we knew, he's going to open up a bar. However, he couldn't use our name America Live because that does belong to us, but he wanted to open up a bar in that location.
Is all of this legal?
Recently here, I'm sorry?
Is all of this legal? It just doesn't even sound like that's possible.
It really wasn't legal, but at the time, we were all in such shock. We really didn't know how to handle what was going on. And at the time, we were just we were under duress. We really didn't know how to handle it. And Barry signed that lease termination. We did see a lawyer and pursue maybe, fixing what had happened because we obviously were done wrong. But they said the first mistake we made was signing that agreement. We should have just said, screw you, sue us, who cares, and not signed anything. Had we not signed that paper, we probably would have had something to work with because what they were doing was definitely not right.
It takes so long to go through the courts to get all that going, and that's the thing.
Exactly.
Wow. Well,
but
I don't think we were
as of now, the building is sitting there empty. A little sweet justice is the guy that came in behind us, apparently tore up everything that Bar Rescue did, and gutted parts of the bar, and he got into a fight with the landlord, and he walked out on them. So now the bar is sitting there empty. It has nobody in it, and it's ripped to shreds is what we've all heard.
Wow. Okay, well, Amber, let's get back to when you guys were open, and John and his team came in to the bar for the 5 day for the renovation process. So what was did you, going back now, did you think that Rudy, was he, I know he was portrayed as this rocker with no business sense. Was he really that way, not on the show? Was he a detriment to that bar?
He was completely portrayed exactly how he was. They say, but never been in any kind of service, restaurant industry, bar industry, anything. He played in a band that had played at our bar. And before I bought in, Barry needed a partner for financial situations, and Rudy expressed that, you know, he thought his band could help promote the bar, et cetera, et cetera. But once he bought in, I swear on my life that the 3 days a week he was there, he was sitting in a chair in the office on Facebook promoting his band. He never once did anything managerial as an owner that helped our bar at all. And Tracy obviously was a complete wreck as well, as you guys saw.
So she was portrayed pretty true as well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she even said it herself. She said, I'm a beer tender. I'm not a bartender, you know?
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, she totally sank at the stress test. And I wish they would have shown more of it because it was completely ridiculous. And I have to say, one of my favorite parts of the show is when Tracy had to go to Courtney and say, John's switching us out, and that laugh Courtney gave her just really, really got me because we knew she was never going to be able to keep up with it.
Right. Okay, well, speaking of Courtney, I'm just wondering, is Courtney and Barry dating?
I wish they would have shown that. Courtney and Barry have been dating for a very long time.
Well, girl, they did show it. Why do you think I'm asking?
Yes, and actually, and I'm so sorry that they didn't show it, but at the end of our opening night, Barry jumped up on the bar, pulled her up there, and actually proposed to her on the bar.
Oh,
I'm tearing up on our opening night, and gave her a beautiful ring.
And of
so
course
they're
she
engaged
said,
now.
Oh, okay, so she said yes. That's
I wish
good.
they would have shown that.
Yeah,
I know.
that would have been
so
a different
much
element.
That we wish they would have shown. Apparently, the producers even asked for us to be a 2-part show because of so much had gone on, and they were denied that. But yeah, so much happened that I wish people got to see.
Yeah, it feels the episode definitely felt like there was a lot of stuff missing, and not in a bad way, but you know, there was just so much curiosity to everything that I saw.
Yeah, I really wish they would have gone more in depth. You know, after Rudy left. I know that's a big part of the show was, you know, showing how he really was. But I think they kind of missed out on the relationships that we all had together other than Rudy and Tracy. I mean, we really, really are like one family.
Right.
You know, and still are to this day.
You know,
our rescue brought them together. I'll tell you what, that was one of the hardest things we've ever done.
What, doing the show?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How did you feel about the stress test? It looked pretty stressful from what we saw. It was probably one of the most stressful stress tests.
It was definitely stressful. I mean, to the training that we received, which they don't show on the show, we actually got to see all those drinks made one time. We got to try to make 2 of the drinks one time, and then they let all these people in. So we actually had no idea what was going on. But John said, you know, at the end, this wasn't, you know, we knew you weren't going to be awesome rock stars at this, but we wanted to see how well you handle stress. And it was obvious who could handle it and who couldn't. You know, Tracy walked out. She had tables walk out. And John actually had a contest that night, which they didn't show. Every time one of the girls did something good, he would throw $5 in a bucket with their name on it. And at the end of the night, whoever had the most money won the contest. And it was a lot of fun because, you know, we're all competitive girls. And, you know, we had to laugh our way through it because that's all you can do when you're in the leagues like that.
Right. Well, I think it definitely weeds out the strong people from the weak people. I mean, it obviously did, you know. But who won the contest?
I won the contest.
Of course you did.
I won, and Courtney was real close behind me.
Nice.
She was on my tail for sure.
Amber, do you regret investing? I know you made a comment during the show that this, I mean, monetarily, this was huge for you. But you were hoping, you know, it's a huge risk. You invested 10 grand, and you were hoping to make a lot of money.
Right.
So do you have any regrets? Did you get your money back?
I did not get my money back. I actually invested more money even after the show. So I lost even more money than what the show even saw. But I had owned a bar previously, so this was my second go around, and I had a pretty successful bar. It was a little tiny dive, but I didn't have a great partner, so I got out of that business. So I found that that could be like my redemption, would to be to get in on a place that I felt so strongly about, because I really believed in Barry. I really believed in my staff and my coworkers, and I really, really thought that we could work. And I still feel to this day, had we not been, you know, kicked out, basically, I think from all the response that we've gotten in the past 24 hours on Facebook and our website, that, you know, people have been saying they were going to come from San Francisco and Colorado and all over these places, and I think we would have done great, because the concept was a great concept. Live music, rock and roll, great drinks, you know.
Oh, the barbecue looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I know, the 4 or 5 different barbecues from all the different places.
Yeah,
and making them authentic.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
they didn't show, but we with Jason, our mixologist bartender, who was awesome, by the way.
Okay, we loved him.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic.
He was
We're just like, uh-oh, got a new favorite bartender.
Right? He taught us how to make like our own lemon sours and lime sours. So every day we freshly squeezed juices, and our drinks were just so much better than anybody's in town, you know. And we really took everything that they gave us and ran with it. It was just unfortunate how it all ended like that. But no, I regret losing the money, yes, but without risk, there's no reward, and that's how I try to live my life. You know, I'm a single mom, and I always am looking for ways to make mine and my daughter's life better. And I really thought that that was going to be a good opportunity for me to do that and to redeem myself kind of from my past experience with my old bar.
So what was it like to have John Taffer around for 5 days? Now that what is it like?
The first day I was hating him. I'm not going to lie. I was really hating him because, you know, he was yelling at us. He was screaming at us. You know, he pretty much called us thieves, you know, which that whole story, that's another story. They made a big mess up on there. We actually have a downstairs to our bar, which they didn't show any of that. There's a whole other bar downstairs. And downstairs there's just like a hand cash register. It's not hooked up to any of our micro system. So when they were counting the liquor, they were counting the liquor downstairs too, but they weren't taking into account of all the sales from downstairs. So when he said $600 walked out the door on Saturday, that's what that all was about. It was about all the liquor that was sold downstairs. So that's why I got so upset when he said, you know, that all that money, you saw the look on my face. I'm like, what? You know? Because I know me and I know my girls, and we don't steal. And, you know, and Rudy going behind the bar pouring his own drinks, drinking for free, giving his band drinks for free. Yes, that all's true, but when he's an owner, what am I supposed to say to him as an employee? No, you can't have that, you know? But, you know, John was really hard on us the first day, but after that, you know, I grew to love him and became very fond of him. He really touched my heart, and I had some moments off camera with him where, you know, he told me that, you know, he really believed in me, and he thought I was a great person, had a great soul, and he felt the same way about Barry. And I felt like he really cared about us a lot and wanted to see us succeed. And I cried when he left because it was bittersweet to watch him go. But, yeah, in the beginning, man, he is tough, let me tell you.
Did he know about
your... I'm 5 foot tall, and he towers over me. So.
Did he know about your previous bar experience, owning the bar?
He did know about that. He did.
Okay.
They actually interviewed me a lot about that, and I was surprised that they didn't show that on the show. Because that was one of the big reasons, you know, why Barry and I had discussed me buying Rudy out.
You know, that would have made sense if they would have shared a little bit of that, because then we would know where your passion came from and wanting to invest so badly in this particular bar.
Right.
But the good news is I don't think you needed it. You know, from coming as a storyteller, I was right in there, and I just saw this person who really wanted to see this bar succeed, so I bought it either way. So you just came off as a very...
I definitely, like I said, Barry's actually the first person who hired me after my bar closed. And he saw something in me a couple years ago. And him and I have worked together for many years now. Well, not many, but three. Three's enough in this business. Let me tell you.
That's many.
That's like 30.
And, it's forever, yeah. And he's taken me with him anywhere he's ever worked. And we've always worked well together. And we've always had that trust. So it was a natural pairing for him and I to partner up. In hindsight, I wish we had done it prior to Rudy buying in. I think if I had bought in first before Rudy was even in the picture, we might be having, you know, a totally different story.
How long was Rudy in the picture?
Shoot, I'm going to say maybe about 6 months, or maybe a little longer, maybe about 6 months. But, I mean, people complained about him constantly because he had that, you know, police mentality. It was black or it was white. There was no gray in between, you know. He was rude to customers. The only thing he cared about was his music. He would never walk up to a customer and say, hey, how's your food? How's your dinner? Did you like your drink? Are you enjoying your experience? It was always about, hey, you want to come see my band play at this other bar?
Well,
you know, what good is that doing us, you know?
His priority definitely wasn't the bar. But, you know, Amber, I mean, I think that a good lesson here, too, is no matter how desperate you are for an investor, you have to make sure that if someone is going to invest in your business, they need to invest in the culture that's going on in the business as well. You know,
I know.
It's,
and
that was
and
totally
Barry will
set
even
up to
say
fail.
and admit that that was definitely one of the mistakes that he made along the way, for sure.
I think it's hard because you do get desperate, you know,
we
especially when you're down so much money.
We were at times.
Do you have any last things, Dorinda?
I don't. But I will say because, you know, there always is the one person in the show that you root for all the time. And honestly, we were rooting for you because you were so emotional and loved it. And I loved when you said, I moved here for this bar.
Yep.
And I was like, well, this is just a woman who just really loves what she does and loves the people that she's with. And you really took an account to everything. And when I heard, like, we were back and forth today. Kimlai and I were back and forth today. And when she said, when we found out about the bar, I was really sad. Like, it was really sad. And then she's like, wait, no, it's still open. I'm like, okay, I'm so happy. But I felt bad for you guys because you guys really were like a group, tight group.
Everybody has been really, most people, I'll say, have been very supportive of me and of my part of the show. I've had some bad comments because apparently something I said got completely misconstrued about Bar Rescue and John Cafford. And, you know, all I was trying to say was, you know, a bar that's already struggling so much, when Bar Rescue comes in, you have to be closed for days and days, you know. And it definitely did not help our financial situation. And people took that as I expected, you know, Bar Rescue to give us money and, you know, pay our bills. And that's not what I meant at all.
Right.
I just was trying to merely explain, you know, how it came down so close and how we got closed down, you know, it's because we were already hurting financially. And, you know, until the show airs, there really wasn't that much of a boost in our sales, you know. And now that we've seen how well it could have done, it's heartbreaking for us, you know. It is really heartbreaking for us to know that, you know, we'll never know if it really could have been hugely successful after the show aired yesterday.
Right. Oh, you know, it was Amber today. I was texting with Dorinda, and it was funny because I'm going to elaborate a little on what she was just saying. And I was telling her, like, oh my God, the bar is closed. And Dorinda was like, oh my God, that makes me sad. And then I actually got a hold of you, and it's like, oh my God, the bar's open. And Dorinda's like, oh my God, I'm so happy. And then I got done talking to you today, and I was like, oh my God, the bar is closed. And Dorinda's like, Kimlai, I can't take this emotional roller coaster. Stop it. Are they open? They closed? What?
Trust me, I understand. It's definitely been an emotional roller coaster for all of us, too. It's definitely sad, and I kind of feel like the landlord probably feels like an idiot right now, because now the building has been sitting empty with nothing going on for months now. And if he would have just waited another 6 weeks, it could have had a major turnaround, and he wouldn't be sitting there with a piece of property that's just costing him money every day.
Well, you know what they say about karma.
Yep.
I think it happened.
She's my best friend.
Well, listen, Amber, we appreciate you so much for calling in. I mean, as I was telling you in the email, this is just, I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your experience and share with all our viewers and listeners, your perspective of your experience with John Taffer. So thank you so much. I'm glad we got the time zone figured out, or I got the time zone figured out,
yeah,
actually.
I'm so sorry. I missed that. That's why I was trying to make sure. I'm like, okay, I don't know exactly where they are. Are they 3 hours?
Oh, girl, I had you living in Egypt, so it's all good. I'm glad we connected. I'm glad you called. Please give everybody our best. We enjoyed the episode, and much, much success to you, okay?
Thank you guys so very much.
Thank you, and congratulations on the wedding party.
Okay, we'll definitely let you know how that goes.
Thanks.
Bye, Amber. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was nice. So I think this is the perfect time to talk about iTunes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, everybody that's on iTunes, all of you that have been downloading the episodes, leaving comments, we thank you so much. And just make sure you continue to refer a friend. Refer those friends and leave the comments. We appreciate it. So you can catch us obviously live right now on AfterBuzzTV.com, YouTube in the morning. You can watch us again, and you can also download us on iTunes. Just make sure you do a search for Bar Rescue. So I really enjoyed talking to her.
She was great.
Yeah, it was a great...
She sounds so cute. I told her today in an email, I said that you were one of our favorites. When she emailed back,
I'm going to come off very, very harsh, unfortunately, and I'm willing to take the heat.
Okay.
But the one criticism I might have, and I would have loved to follow up, but I didn't want to kind of pry too much, is I feel like they were banking on too much of Bar Rescue saving them. Instead of promoting themselves before Bar Rescue came out.
I don't think they knew how. I don't think they knew what to do.
I don't think they. But I think you could have. You know what I mean? I don't know if they tried. Again, I'm very harsh in that respect, but I think they were banking on too much of Bar Rescue. The show was gonna bring more sales.
That I get. That I understand. But also in the same respect, they did do the radio interview. They did have Hailstorm come, and they were working as far as, like, from what I saw on the show. That's what I totally forgot to ask her about, having the bands come in. They were having more nationally known bands come in and play.
Yep.
That would have really done stuff, because bands promote, they market.
All right, so my comment was uneducated.
No, it's not.
We're so glad you're here with us tonight.
I don't think it's educated at all, because I do believe, though, they could have marketed themselves a little bit better also.
But you guys, everyone's calling Bar Rescue because you want that national exposure. You want them to come over and do a total revamp of your bar in hopes that it is going to help your bar succeed and to learn from John.
I agree, but at the same time, just a word of caution. Again, I'm glad to hear you disputing me, Dorinda, but word of caution to possibly future bars. Like, at the same time, it's great, but you also got to use that platform building up to it, and then as much as you can right after.
That I agree, because at one point, Barry said they had less than 30 days. Or the bar would be closed. Now, by the time this aired, was going to be more than way more than 30 days. So there had to be something in place, I would have to think, right?
Yeah.
But there wasn't.
There wasn't. And then it comes down to Wow, that story. I was like, where are we gonna go from here? When she told us the whole story.
Here was, and I'm glad she went that way. And,
yeah.
Because it was someone who saw this kind of picking up. It looked nicer, you know. They saw dollar bills, and they're like, all right, you know what? I got to get in on this now, while it's still hot, while I can still, you know, get it. Versus like, okay, they're already successful. They can pay off the rent and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I just couldn't believe it, because the first thing that came into my mind when she told me the story and told me about the other bartender was he was just going to take all this new stuff, open it up, and have it. And then when I found out that he tore everything up and then decided...
Who does that?
It's a brand new bar. They were given a brand new bar.
I bet you he did it thinking, I'm going to hurt them. I'm going to show them. Look at all their crap. But it's like, and it's everything was new.
What did you win?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, we have a limited amount of time left, so let's hit the kitchen and the bar real quick. I want to say that I thought the experts on this particular episode, Jason Brand and Chef Aaron. Jason Brand was the mixologist, and the speed. I was like a speed bartender. Yeah. Okay, but real quick.
That's a good title. I respect that title.
Listen, I respect. Don't get me wrong. I respect these.
And Chef Aaron was like the speed chef, though, too, because he was all about making things quick. But this episode, I noticed that the mixologist and the chef were definitely more involved, or at least we
intense.
saw they were creating the drinks. I mean, last episode there were no, I mean, in past episodes there weren't really drinks created, especially some, but this seemed like they were a huge part of it.
Yeah, the drinks were a huge part. He was showing them how to speed pour, which that's what I do. Like, that's what I've done. Like, and how they do, like, all
air bubble.
Yeah, the air bubble. But even the counts, like, it's just all about your wrist. It's all once again, wrist action.
We're gonna have a lesson. Let's have a lesson. We're gonna have a bar lesson at Kimlai's house.
But the thing being is, I thought he was great because he was no nonsense. And he wasn't there to be nice to you. He was there to show you. He was there to teach you.
Yep.
And I thought he did a great job at doing that. And the same with Chef Aaron in the kitchen. When I love that they were using the timer. I love the timer. And I love when he's
Bring
like...
it back.
Yeah, and when he said, well, you need to get this done in, 9 minutes? You need to get this done in 9 minutes. Had the timer, and once at 9 minutes, you need to stop. Wherever you're at, stop. And Bear had gotten it done exactly at 9 minutes.
Hesitant at first.
Yes.
Hesitant. I think anytime anyone walks into your kitchen and starts telling you you've got crap everywhere and it's bad, you're going to instantly defend without really rationally thinking, is it really crap and bad?
Yeah.
But he came around because he knew he was trying to help him. And he was a chef. He wasn't a cook.
Yes.
He was Chef Bear. And it got his mojo back.
Did.
That's always good.
And,
go ahead, Phil.
No, well, I really liked how, he was good in the beginning in terms of, like, laying out everything, and then they saw that, all right, you just need to change up how you put it on the plates. That's your biggest weakness right now.
Yeah, and
that's easy enough.
Yeah, they said he froze. Like, he got everything. And when it came to the plating, freeze.
Yeah, what happened was he started to think too much, and when you think too much, it just becomes... I was going to go into things and such, but because I always say that. You just stop, and your brain, even as much as you're thinking, it's just going too fast for you to move.
Yep.
And I think that's what happened with him. But I thought he was great. I mean, he really was, at the end, doing what he had to do, and I love that they did barbecue and whiskey. That is they're right next to Kentucky. I mean, what are you going to do? That's the best place to get your whiskey. People might say Tennessee, sorry, but I'm thinking Kentucky. But
well, Tennessee's one of them.
Tennessee is one of them.
I liked that they pulled all the barbecue recipes as well. I mean, they had Memphis, and they had Texas,
Carolinas.
And then the Carolinas. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was good for me.
Kansas
I was like, learn something. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, just that makes people like me from LA want to go there.
It's authentic.
Because it seems like, wow, you can pick the best whatever you want.
Exactly.
You got the music, you have the bar, you have the food. And of course the brand new atmosphere, so the aesthetics are amazing.
And I love that they chose what they chose because it was in between two military bases. And that's the other thing. When you have the military, and by the way, this is not meant to be a bad thing, but you drink. You know, you do go out, you do want to have fun, and you have.
It's how it's how guys bond.
It's how, yes, exactly.
You can know someone more in one night of drinking than
you know, 10 days of having a manicure. But
there you go.
Nice. What?
Good comparison.
What?
We'll accept it.
First, I was like, huh? What?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a beer with a guy, and I mean, it's a bonding. That's what you guys like to do.
Of course
it's
it is.
Like ritualistic.
Things start to go away up there.
Yeah. And, you know, and him being a military guy and the way they fixed everything. I just loved it. How they, whatever. It just makes me upset.
I get you.
Makes me upset it's closed now.
I get you. Get you. Okay, so we're loving the way they did the kitchen. Yeah, like 5 minutes. We all love the way they're doing the kitchen, and we love the way they did the bar. Happy with the experts. This was a big episode.
It was a big episode. You love that you could get a drink from a spout.
Yes, I thought that was
from
amazing.
A tap, not a spout.
It's like I would love that in my kitchen, not because here we go again with the drinking. It's just so like easy. Like if you have parties and stuff, how easy is that than having to set all the bottles out and all the mixers out, and someone has to make everything, and then there's syrup and crap everywhere, and you're cleaning constantly. Yeah. In my brain, it was just like, oh my gosh, who created that? Who created that simplified process of awesomeness?
It's brilliant. And I'd like to do a shout out to Jeremiah Weed.
There you go.
Fantastic. Love you guys. Marcy, you rock. There you go.
Okay, explain.
Because Jeremiah Weed is kind of dear to me because friends of mine who are in a band called Truth and Salvage Company actually have been their spokespeople. And so they go around and that's one of their things. And I have actually had Jeremiah Weed and love it to death. I think it's great. So there you go.
All right.
That was a plug for them. I think we have another plug that we need to do as well. Phil, take us there.
Well, we've all been very serious, but at the end of the day, we all love a good comedy. It's just human nature, for God's sakes. And Fox Premiere Tuesday is stacked with them. First off, Zooey Deschanel and New Girl. Who doesn't love a New Girl? It's coming back.
I like it. I liked it last season.
I love the guys on. I love the guys on New. The guys make that show.
I want roommates like that.
Yes. Well, just like that, she's back and she's laid off of work and looking for work again.
On the show or in real life?
On the show.
Oh,
on the show. And then family, of course, is a funny thing. From the producers of New Girl, it's the new series critics are calling one of the best New Year's comedy. Ben and Kate.
I actually saw the pilot.
Really?
I did.
When does that start?
It starts.
All of these start the same night, September 25th at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So it goes New Girls at 8, goes Ben and Kate at 8:30, then another New Girl. Is that interesting?
2 episodes in one night, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Mindy Kaling has a brand new office. It's the series premiere of her new show, The Mindy Project. So if you're looking for laughs, check it out. Tuesday night on Fox has got you covered. September 25th, it begins 8 p.m. Don't miss it.
TiVo, I love Fox. I love the programming.
Oh, and tonight on Mondays, their new series, Mob Doctor, at 9 p.m. So check that out starting tonight.
Oh,
wait, what is that one supposed to be? Hold on.
That one's about, it's exactly what the title says.
Mob, a doctor to the mob?
There you go.
Yeah.
Do mobs still exist?
Yeah.
Do mobs still exist, you say?
Well, I'm just saying.
You'll find out on Mob Doctor tonight at 9.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't want to be. Stop it. I meant I watch a lot of other things like the mob shows that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
And it's like it seems so old school. Like I would have wanted to be involved in it back in the day. But now it's like that nostalgia of it is like, is this still
Well, see what I like is we've given Kimlai a list. All right, so Mob Doctor starting tonight at 9.
Down.
And then we've got Tuesday night covered for you. We've given you guys a laundry list of stuff to cover.
I won't be laughing tonight probably, I'm sure, with Mob Doctor.
Mob Doctor's not supposed to be funny.
I'll be laughing.
Get your drama on Monday.
I'll be
get your comedy on Tuesday.
Tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. Okay. I see Rudy and Barry. I just want to make sure we cover all our topics for you people listening and watching. Rudy Barry.
Yeah,
well, I want to talk about
Barry.
Barry,
the owner. I'm like Berry. I thought it was like a drink. I'm like,
no.
What's a Barry?
Just save yourself and just.
I know.
All right, so I'll talk about Barry and Rudy. Barry, the guy, not the drink.
Yes.
here's what I feel like, and she was kind of touching upon this. You got to know the end goal of whoever you're investing with. And if, and I feel like deep down Barry kind of knew, but again, desperate times call for desperate measures. You need the money.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I think Barry deep down knew this guy's end game is to just have a band, have a bar you can play at, rather than be, you know what, I'm going to be a successful bar owner. So always know what the end game of whoever you're going into business is.
Yep.
So
I think that's very, you know what, when people say, oh, I was in the Navy or I was in the Marines, you stereotype them and thinking they're this A-type personality, gung-ho, very confrontational in a good way. And he was none of those.
No,
I think it took John. John did him a huge favor coming in and going, what is it going to take to get you out of here? When he was talking to Rudy. I was so glad he did that.
Yeah.
And Barry looked at, he was just like, it's like the things he wanted to say, but didn't. He seems like a very compassionate person.
I agree. And can we talk about, have we talked about Tracy?
Oh, Tracy.
Tracy?
The wife.
Oh my goodness, the rocker's wife.
The beer tender.
What does that even mean? Is that like a term that I'm unaware of? There's a lot of terms.
She pops a top.
For beer.
That's what her expertise are.
Very slowly.
She pops a top.
Is that like a real term that I'm just unfamiliar with?
Yeah,
that's all she does. She would be the girl that sits at that stand that's just beer.
The satellite bar.
It doesn't have to
be a tub girl or a satellite. Though I would never want her as a tub girl. But that's what she did. And she just would pop a top. I mean, And
didn't know how to make drinks.
Didn't know how to, and she didn't really care to. I think she was just there to be there because her husband was there, And that's great and that's fine. And she really only worked during the day, so I'm sure it wasn't that busy for her to have to really do anything.
No, but they even said their clientele went down because she was there during the day.
So even she just wasn't making it or cutting it, but she didn't want to make it or cut it. That's
she didn't care.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel like she didn't. And I was gonna ask this: do people during the day expect better service in that case? Like, if us three are at a bar that's supposed to fit 200 people, I expect I can get a drink in less than 3 minutes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think expectations should be the same whether it's at night or during the day.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you on
drinks,
that.
everything.
Yeah, and she couldn't take it. She didn't believe that that was true. When they told her to leave the bar. And I loved when Courtney laughed at her because she
That was funny.
It was kind of an evil, funny laugh because she knew exactly what was happening.
Well, we don't need to cover the stress test. We covered that when Amber was on the phone. But the reveal, it was beautiful.
Yes.
What did you think of the name?
America Live.
I'm pushing us along.
Okay. America Live. Not that it was bad. I would have done American Live. It's just for some reason in my head and the way I think of it, it should have been even when I saw it, I saw American Live instead of America Live. It just sounds better.
When you said that to me, I was like, huh?
Yeah, it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
But that's just me. It's still America Live is great. We love you guys. You're awesome. But I would have rather seen American Live. It just gives it a little more pop.
Well, we've had our opinions before about John's title choosing.
Yeah, like corporate, but yeah.
We're just going to keep bringing that one up. Not every idea is a good idea. Okay, so yeah, the sign was nice. You have an opinion about the sign?
I never get hung up on titles too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I should, honest to God, be more hung up on that, but I'm like, America, great. Either way,
it was better than Win, Place, or Show.
It was. That was like,
keep calling it
I don't even know.
Else.
What does that even mean?
One Place or Show. Isn't that in dog competitions?
Yes.
That's what it's from. Dog
but it has see, there you go.
But the biker bar.
But with horses.
Horse racing.
Well, Win, Place, or Show. But yeah, but I thought it was more for dog shows. I thought it was more for dog shows.
I think it is more for. It sounds more for the canine species.
Yes.
Excellent.
Either way, it was just confusing.
Well, Phil, again, we're super glad that you were able to join us this evening.
I'm glad I could be here as well.
It's always nice to have a male in the room. And you guys, we hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Please follow me on Twitter at Kimlai Yingling. Shoot me some questions. You can follow Dorinda as well. Dorinda?
At Lula Cherry Films.
Email her questions as well, or tweet her. Sorry.
Please do.
And Phil?
Find me on other shows here at AfterBuzz.
And what's AfterBuzz's Twitter?
At AfterBuzz TV.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, guys. guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you on iTunes. See you on YouTube. Have a good night. Marissa, take us out.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.